welcome along. Today is, let's see, where are we? It's the 4th, isn't it? Sunday the 4th of April 2021, our noonday snack. Easter eggy hunty done, granddaughter this morning, so out planting eggs around the garden for her early on. Don't tell her though, it was the Easter bunny that did it really, not me. So that's all done and dusted. What you had for breakfast this morning? That's a question. Did you have chocolate for breakfast? I didn't. No, I didn't. I haven't had any breakfast today. Still full from yesterday. But did you have? Did you have chocolate for breakfast? It's one of those times when you can get away with it, isn't it? Christmas is a similar one. Christmas Day, you can have chocolate for breakfast. Kelsey, good afternoon to you. Excellent Easter. Oh, lovely. Diane Edwards, good morning to you. Happy Easter to you as well. Thank you very much. You have a wonderful Easter. Ian Wright, good afternoon to you. Sun has just come out, yeah. Do you know, it's been sunny here. Beautiful blue sky when I woke up this morning. Beautiful blue sky, but quite chilly. It was -1 at one point and then got up to 0, but it's starting to get a bit warmer now as well, which is lovely. Sue Newell, happy Easter to you. And Christine P, Mrs. P, good afternoon to you. Welcome along. This is our noonday snack. Have you got your towel? Have you got your towel with you? Roast lamb on the go. Oh, blimey. I love a bit of roast lamb. How was your trip down the market yesterday, Kelsey? Did you see people doing the walk of shame in the market? Vivian Dixon, good morning to you. Happy Easter Day. Gillian Matthews, good morning to you. Christine Lewis. Lots of sun and duckies there. So hopefully it's a lovely sunny day in Philadelphia. Carol Kent, good afternoon to you. I've been very good. No chocolate so far. I've been quite good as well. I've had one little bit, and that's it. My granddaughter gave me a bit of a chocolate egg this morning, so I've had a little bit of chocolate egg. No chocolate at breakfast. Shock. Bagel for breakfast. Chocolate after lunch. Yeah, you know. But this is one of those times of the years when you can get away with it, isn't it? You know, Christmas Day, Easter Day. You know, breakfast, I think. I'll tell you what my daughter did yesterday. She made us, she gave us an Easter egg, but what she'd done is, myself and my wife, she'd done us an Easter egg that she'd cut in half, as they do come apart, and then she'd put a cheesecake inside it. So she'd made a cheesecake inside the egg shell, and then put chopped up Cadbury's cream egg on top of it. Oh, amazing. Now, I love cheesecake. It's one of my weaknesses, but put it with an Easter egg as well. My goodness. So I had a little bit of that last night. It was very rich. That was pudding last night, if you like, or dessert last night. I could manage it all, but lovely. So thank you to Jess for that. Gillian Matthews, good afternoon to you. Good afternoon to Diana Edwards as well. In my youth, I've been known to eat apple pie for breakfast. Oh, apple pie for breakfast. Mine, Boxing Day, is sherry trifle. if we have a sherry trifle on Christmas Day, sherry trifle for breakfast on Boxing Day morning. Oh, amazing. Right, I'm feeling hungry now. Carol, good afternoon. Sunny where you are in Bedfordshire, and Sheila Day, good afternoon to you. So the collective is in. Happy Easter to Sandra Hewitt as well. So chocolate on Easter Sunday is fine. It certainly is. Yeah. You know, it's one of those things as well. I don't know what it is about it. I don't know what happens, but Christmas Day and Easter Sunday, chocolate becomes calorie free. It's amazing. Right, I'm going to. You had one of those chocolate cheesecakes on Friday. Very naughty but nice it was, wasn't it, Carol? Hey, listen, if you want to lose the comments off the bottom of the screen, swipe to the right, and they will be gone. Oh, I'm peckish now. Should we have our 3, 2, 1? I can't do it like Kelsey. She just goes like that, and ends up. There we go. 1. We'll go with that. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome along. My name is Dave Montgomery from Later Life Training. Today is Sunday, 4th of April 2021. This is our noonday snack. I only said 8 a.m. then. This is our noonday snack, our first opportunity to add those additional movement minutes into our day. It's our second opportunity because I had 8 a.m. in my head, didn't I? So our second opportunity to add additional movement minutes into our day. Strength and balance is what we're talking about here. So listen, do we want to do it in a standing? Do we want to do it in a seated position? That is one of the first choices that we make. Let's get ourselves going, shall we? One of the second choices we make is where we're going to do it. Now, wherever we do it, we want to make sure we've got clear space around us. One of the cats is in bed, one's gone out, so there's no chance of tripping over a cat. There's nothing else on the floor. I've cleared away all my granddaughter's toys that she had out here this morning. I've got fixed external support available to me. I've got a bunny rabbit keeping an eye on me and a couple of eggs as well, look, for my granddaughters. So that's from her hunt earlier on. Now, first things first, good comfortable shoes. Have a look at the movement, see how you want to do it, see if you want to do it at all really. Have a look at it, see how you want to do it, whether you want to do it in standing, with supported or in seated. If we're in standing, it's good fixed external support. In seated, good sturdy chair that we're working from. Listen to your body, work within your own range of motion as well. So whatever your range of motion is the correct one. That's the important thing to remember. Okay, let's have a look at our posture, shall we? So in our standing position, we've got our heels in line with our knees and our knees are in line with our hips. We've got this lift and lengthen. So from our hips, lifting that a little bit taller, growing those extra couple of inches. You know, so I reach the actual height, it says on my passport, because I've shrunk a little bit. Standing tall, shoulders up, back and down. So we open this chest, we open the chest cavity, and we lengthen through our neck. Imagine a piece of string, like a puppet, pulling you tall from your head. In seated, then in our seated position, the first thing we're going to do is bring ourselves off the back of that chair. So we're now doing the support. The back of the chair is switched off. We lift and lengthen up through our upper body. But before we do that, we lift and shift into the front third. So there's a little hip walk into the front third of the chair. Sitting there, sitting tall, lengthening, shoulders up, back and down. We can start with our circulation booster. And our circulation booster starts off, as always normally, we always normally start here, although we can start with the arms, we can start anywhere really. It's about a rhythmical movement, it's about a flowing movement. That's what it's about, this circulation booster. Doesn't matter if it starts with the arms or the legs. I tend to start at the bottom and work my way up. But that's a whole different story. You can start at the top and work your way down. Choice is yours. Life is full of choices. Now what we do is we make the movement bigger, not faster, okay? So to make this movement bigger, we take it into a march. Now here's an opportunity for us to have a little point of those toes down towards the floor. So we're lifting the foot off the floor, toes aren't coming too high, it's not a huge big movement, but it's about getting some extra movement into those muscles. Yeah, into those legs. Now here, in seated, there's a lot going on at the hip flexors. So you might find after a short period that this starts to become quite tiresome as far as your hips are concerned. So you can always come back in to that heel raise, or a bit of a toe tap out in front, you know, or even a little walk forward and a toe tap with the heels on the floor. It doesn't matter, whatever it is, as long as it's rhythmical and it's flowing. In our standing position with our support there if we want it, we can see how we lift the foot off the floor. And here you can see more clearly that ability to point the toes down. So we start to get some mobility back into our ankles. Now breakfast time, 8 a.m. It's all about, when we get down to the bottom, isn't it? The last trio is about ankle, feet and toes. And this is enabling us to take that a little bit further and get that motion into our ankles to start to mobilise through them. Let's pop an arm in as well. Why not, hey? Same, it's just standing there. It's just there at the side doing nothing, so we might as well use it. So drive the elbow backwards. Elbow staying around about 90 degrees, but it doesn't have to be exact. You don't have to get your protractor out. Just move it backwards and forwards. But the reason for the elbow being bent is then we've got a drive. We've got a physical drive of that arm backwards. Rather than if we're down here, we start to get a bit of momentum kicking in with just a swing. And this is really controlled, really thought out, really definite. Now, if we're using our support, we're going to change arms. But to do that, if our support is to the side, we need to take a pause. Turn into the support, making sure one hand stays on there the whole time. And then we can kick off on the other side with that arm and leg movement. If support's in front, as long as you've got enough room for those knees, yeah? You can have one arm going. You pop the hand down before you take the other one off. And then away you go again, and you can swap and change. You could do one at a time. Now, seated, standing. If you feel coordinated, if you feel steady and stable, both arms, both legs at the same time. So we're driving through, We've got this big movement into our body, warming the joints, loosening the muscles, loosening the joints, getting ourselves ready to do our snack for noon. Okay? A couple of moments of this, just a few more moments, and then we're going to slow it down a little bit and bring it to a stop. There we should feel as though we want to take a couple of deep breaths. We shouldn't feel out of breath, but we should feel we've got a little bit of a huff and puff going on. We should feel that we've got, we're breathing a little bit harder, and we should feel that the heart rate's going. That's what we want, because that's what's getting the blood around the body. Right, okay, let's get ourselves ready to go, shall we then? So, first thing we're going to do is some balance work as far as a one-legged stand is concerned. So with our support by the side, we're going to bring ourselves up and place the foot down again. Support is available to the side. The leg closest to support is the one that stays still. Now we've got this movement here and lower. That's the first part of it. Standing tall. So get used to all of the weight coming down through this leg, but still staying tall and lifted. The knees slightly bent. So you've got this lift and this lower back down. Don't lean across. Yeah, stay tall here. In our seated position, then we've got the same movement, a lift and a lower. Right, if you're using support, it's to the side. Now I'm just going to move my chair back for a moment to make room, to make sure I've got some room for this. So we know we've got our flamingo swing that we've done in the past, which is this swing forward. What we're going to do here is this one leg stand coming up. We're going to extend the leg out, bring it back in, and then take it backwards. Yeah? So we've got this lift up with this one leg stand, extend the leg out, bring it back, and then bring it back into stand. So support by the side if we need it. This big knee, this extension, this swing back, and back into stand. Yeah? But that swing back, although we use the word swing, it's not a swing, so we're not going to just let it fly, okay? From here, we're going to drive it backwards. So we get a little squeeze in our bum as well as we come back. That's our standing option. In our seated option, we're not going to have the ability to take that leg back. The chair's in the way, isn't it? So what we're going to focus on is the lift, the extension, the down, and the place. So lift, extend, back in, and place. Now in seated, make sure, as we're doing in standing, we're standing tall, we're staying tall. Make sure we're still focusing on that same upright, tall posture. So as we extend that leg away, don't be tempted to lean back. Stay tall there, yeah? And if you can only extend it to here, that's fine. We work within our own range of motion again, remember, but we've got this extension away, back in, and lower. In our standing position, utilising that support, so we start to challenge our balance. Support by the side if we need it. We've got the lift, we've got the extension, we've got the drive back, and we've got the place down. Knees soft. Now, if you're not using your support, you have the ability to change leg every time. If you are using your support, and I would always recommend having it there anyway, you've got the ability to be able to do one side, do a few on one side, turn into your support to change to the other side, and away you go. And on the other leg, it's exactly the same motion. The lift, the extension, the swing back, and the step down. And when we step down, we come down with the toes first, roll through onto the ball of the foot and the heel, and we're about hips width apart. Do it at your pace, do as many as you feel comfortable with. So again, knees slightly soft, lifting, extending, drawing back, and placing down onto the floor. And again, on the other side, we've got that lift, we've got that extension, that's drive back, and that down onto the floor. Yeah. So you'll notice that we've got a little bit of movement across to the side because we've got the weight there. But what we're not doing is shifting ourselves across here. So we're keeping all of that weight down and the knees staying soft. Movement number one for you. Okay, let's get our towel. Towels, yeah? So, towel or tea towel, it's a small kitchen towel I've got here. What we're going to work on is some strength into our shoulders. So let's bring ourselves into a seated position for this this movement. So from standing to seated, back up, feel the chair behind you. From there, lower with control into that chair, have a little rest if we need one, and then sit tall, hip walk into the front third of the chair. Now, what we want to work on is power into our shoulders. So this movement here for picking something up, you know, it's a cup of tea you can pick up like that, can't you? But it's this movement here into the shoulders. Let's think about picking an object up, but we're going to focus into one side at a time. So just hold the towel roughly at one end. It doesn't have to be folded neatly, okay? You've got a grip there, and if you need to, you can fold the towel over so you get a bit of a bigger amount to hold on to. We've got it onto our other knee, yeah? So we're holding it down onto our other knee and we're pulling away. Now the upper body is staying tall and straight. So release down, pull up. And you should feel this into the front part of your shoulder here. You're going to feel it into your forearm a little bit as well. So we've got this movement there, we've got some tension, and then we're just pulling against it. And then release it off. See how the shoulders stay flat. So I'm not tipping across. Yeah, I'm staying lifted here, and I'm just focusing that movement and that tension into my shoulder. Do a few on one side, change to the other. Now this movement is very much like the end part of our twist, isn't it, into our wrists, where we've got that movement there. We're pulling apart, we're loading into the wrist there. Because we've extended it away from the body, we're bringing the load into our shoulder now. So grasping, holding at the bottom, lifting and pulling away. And then when you've done a few on one side, change to the other side, again that overhand grip, and away you go. If that height is too much for you, if you're down here, that's fine, yeah? And you're still going to get that. Now you're also getting a bit of load into your wrist because you're holding it with the wrist and you're pulling up, but you're going to feel the bulk of it up here. You will feel some in your wrist and you'll feel some in your forearm. And as I say, think about when we're lifting something away from us. Whenever we lift something, we talk about lifting it in close to the body to maintain good posture and to protect our lower back. But there are going to be times where we need to extend that away. And this is where that strength is needed there. Now, we would normally lift and extend away. We wouldn't do this movement. But that, when you have the hands out in front, is where you need the strength into your shoulders. So that's what we're working on here. So a few on one side, set yourself up on the other side, and away you go again. And you might feel you've got more range of motion on one side than the other, but always just lifting and pulling up to about 5 seconds, no more, and releasing down. Make sure you don't hold your breath. So if you're doing the hold, count it out to yourself. Yeah, 1, 2. So you know, if you're counting, you can't hold your breath, because if we hold our breath, all that happens is our blood pressure starts to go up. Okay, that is our second movement. Movement to finish the week. You know, I always like on our 12 o'clocks to make sure we do plenty of work as far as our wrists are concerned. We do plenty of work as far as our ankles are concerned as well. And I always like to put this ankle strengthener back in for you. I've done it before, and I'll do it every time we do 12 o'clocks at some point during that week, because it's so important. Our ankles play such a huge part in our stability. And even if standing isn't our radar, we need to have some strength into those ankles. Let's think about transfers from chair to bed, chair to toilet, all of those sorts of things. Okay, so I'm going to change the angle on my camera, purely so you can see the ankles are a little bit better. So I'm in here. You know where we are with this move. We're going to use the towel again. We're going to fold it perhaps into 3. You know, just loosely. It's just to put something between our knees. Okay? So, let me sit back a bit, because you need to see the feet, don't you? There you go. We'll see them on the red as well, so you've got the contrast. So, we've brought the towel in and we're bringing our knees together. So there's a bit of a gap there. To start off with, heels are in line with knees, yeah? Knees together, and then we bring the toes in, but the heels have stayed exactly where they are. The movement is to lift the toes and keep the heels down on the floor. Lower them down, and then keep the heels where they are as you rotate out. Lift the toes again with heels staying down. So the heels always stay where they are. all they do is allow the rotation of the foot. So up, lower, out, lower, and we're keeping the knees together the whole time. So this movement here, especially where we get that lift, is where we get the strengthening happening. But we're also getting that rotation in there as well, look, on the lift. Yeah? So working into your ankles. That is our ankle strengthener for you. Now, last one for us to do today is for our fingers. So again, I know I've done this with you before. I'm going to do it again. I've got myself, it's my iPad, basically, and it's pad. Okay, fingers on. We're sitting tall, so this could be at the table. And this and the ankle strengthener are a great one for you to be able to crowbar in. Thumb lift, all the other fingers stay down. Little finger lifts, all the other fingers stay down. Everything stays down apart from the middle finger. And then everything stays down apart from the index finger. Is that the index finger and the ring finger? Yes, index finger and ring finger. So everything else is down on the floor, onto the thing. Yes, so can you see there again? So if I bring it up, look. Thumb up, everything else down. Little finger up, everything else down. Middle finger up, everything else down. Everything down apart from ring and index finger. And you might find you get more range of motion on one finger than the other. And then you can do various things, so you can go through the whole gambit look. Yeah? Keeping those fingers elevated. Keeping them down. Just to build some dexterity into your hands. So, again, middle finger, every other finger's in the middle, staying down, thumb and little pinky. Middle finger up, everything else stays down. Index and ring finger up, everything else stays down. And then a variety of them. So there's a little one for you to work on. There's another one, look. See, both those fingers up, ring finger and middle finger up, and the rest staying down. So lots of variety there for you. That is about just building some dexterity into those fingers. Dexterity is really good for us as far as opening bowls, taps, those sorts of things. Okay? Yeah. So plenty of things for you to crowbar in there. Now listen, keep mobility on your radar. Keep mobility on your radar. Keep activity on your radar. Keep movement right at the forefront. Okay. That's me done for today. I will see you tomorrow. Shift change, so I'm on at AMs tomorrow. I'll see you bright and breezy at 8 AM in the morning. It's going to be a killer for me because Kay hasn't got to get up to go to work. So I'm going to have to get up, and because it's Easter Monday, I've not got anything to do tomorrow either. Better set the alarm, hadn't I? I'll see you tomorrow at 8 AM. Have a great evening. Have a great afternoon, everybody. Stay safe, stay active. See you real soon. Toodles.